Hello, all you hardcores. Welcome to part three. We're joined by Lewis from London. How you doing, Lewis, lad? You all right?
Yeah, all good, Porky, all good.
Well, glad to hear it, mate. Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Uh, well, we spoke a little bit about the Times Square show in New York. What did you make of all that? Before we move on to other more important things, what do you think?
I don't know. I thought, you know what? It's one of them where look at it like this. You've done that, and I think it's to make a statement. No, there was super, for example, super like VIP seats, but there was no real gate. So you've done that with no gate money. It's just to make a statement in regards to this is who I am.
Sports washing. Well, it is, isn't it? Sports washing, isn't it? Really, that's what they've done, isn't it? It's in front of our eyeballs. They're
Yeah.
trying to say, look, we're Saudi. Look what we've done here. A bit like the Wembley Stadium show where they played the national anthem and nobody said a word, did they? Nobody.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, which is true. But then I guess the way they're looking at it, well, it's our money, we control it, we've bankrolled it, it's our show, and there you go. There's a certain amount, there's X, Y, and Z eyeballs that are gonna be watching it. So, we're gonna pipe for this.
Lewis, I'm going to ask you something now. And I want you to give me a real honest answer. I know you've got a good job on that and you might not want to answer this, but
There we
I'll
go.
say this to you. You know this lot, Eddie Hills, and Bricktop, and all the rest of them for this last couple of years out there. Do you think they've all sold their souls and now they might be regretting not showing a bit of pride in front and a few morals in front of this guy because he's dropped them for Dana White on it, a guy who's never put a boxing show on and got no boxing knowledge? What do you make about the whole scenario? How everybody wanted to hold hands and group hugs and sing nice things about all things Saudi, and we're not even that same energy now, are we?
No, but they've all been duped, that's why. They've been duped. And I think they realize that now. I think yeah, they realize that now. You've got to look at how it all started initially with was it sports challenge, skills challenge, and Eddie. They were the first ones to go over there. The first ones was Joshua. Then it came. Then it all changed. Then Turkey looked at it, been around them, sussed them all out. All right, you know what? All right, there's a divide. Put you together. It's just they've been duped, and I think they've realised that now. But again, for them, it's just it's money. It's money, and there's a lot of things that's. I know if one of the parties put it like this, I know one of the part, one of the two, they're already looking for. There's an exit strategy. Put it like that with one of them, and one of them is already looking into other fields. Obviously, I can't say too much, but yeah, and it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. They're not stupid. Both of them know. They know what it is. They know what's happened. And when you look at the landscape of boxing now, when Fury goes, Joshua goes, Usyk goes, there's no characters. You need characters. You need to, where you have a Batman, you have to have a Joker. You always need characters. Where you have an Ali, you have to have a Frazier. Where you have a Foreman, you have to have, you need characters. Where are the characters that are going to be left on the board when these guys go? And this is the issue you're going to have with boxing. So is it and when you then look at it, surprise, surprise, Dana White and Turkey come in, but the landscape is where's the characters? So they've actually come in. He's been smart. Put it like this: he's been very smart, Turkey, in what he's done. That's all I could say.
Okay. Tyson, well, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to throw eight names at your ear. I want you to say shot on the slide or is still okay. Right, like
Yeah.
right, here we go. Otto Wallin.
Oh, he's shot.
Right, okay. Martin McCauley.
Ooh. I wouldn't say he's not shot. He's not on the slide. He just needs to sort his weight out.
Yeah, but
He'll be.
when was the last time he fought light?
You're talking lighter would have been the Anderson fight, and that is, I think, is manageable for him. He's not going to get lower than 18 stone. Let's be realistic, but he can at least be at 18 stone and be a more healthier fighter. And he's
Okay.
trouble. If he's in that weight, he's trouble for all of them.
Is Martin Bacoli 33-year-old or
Of
43?
course he's not. Of course he's not. Of course he's not. He's in his 40s. We can all see that. He's in his
Yeah.
40s.
Okay. Derek Chisora, shot to bits or still got something left?
This is yeah. I hate to say it, but he's shot. Hate to
Yeah.
say it because I know Chisora, so I hate to say it, but he's shot.
He's 42 in a couple of months.
Yeah, listen. Towards the end of his career, he's made the money he should have made years ago. But again, as a lot of the fighters, they want the limelight. It's the ego. They want the limelight. They want to still be around. But I think he should have stopped. But there's many different pockets Chisora can be around and stay within boxing.
Okay.
But he don't need to fight. He don't need to fight anymore.
Dylan White, 37-year-old, is he finished?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Too inactive?
Too inactive. There's been too many stories. He's had too many things against him. He's made his money. Just be that guy in it. You've got Wardley. You've got a few other fighters. Just be the manager. Stay within the sport. Be the manager. You're still a name. Forget about fighting.
He's got Wardley, hasn't he? Wilder, 40 in a few months. Is he finished?
Yeah, out of it. Out of it.
How's
He's
it?
went back in July, apparently. He was meant to come back in May. He's coming back in July, but he's out of it. And again, the excuse is, oh, I wasn't myself, and I was too, I wasn't the bronze bomber. I became. He's out of it. He's out of it. But again, you know, a lot of the time back then, people say, he would always. I always believe Joshua would have knocked him. Joshua would have always sent him to Buttermoon. Always. When you look at the facts, Wilder never fought anyone. The minute he stepped up, he's been beat. Beat by Parker, beat by Zhang. The minute he started fighting top 10 fighters, he was beat. He was actually beaten in the Ortiz fight, and they gave him extra time. This is it. But again, they always want, because of his aura and the way he's American, and they always try to put him on that pedestal. But look at his boxing CV. There's nothing to it. It's paper thin, just like Fury's, paper thin. But I give Fury, I respect him but again, when he after the first Wilder fight, I was like, flipping hell, he got back up. But then when you scratch beneath the surface and you actually, well, hold on a minute, Wilder, you were knocking all these tin cans out. The minute you fight, you fight someone of real substance, they're taking your power. So again, it's false narratives with the way the media has spun everything. Oh, he's the hardest hitter, harder than Ernie Shavers. How? Who's he fought? Once you have
Well, he's
someone,
got the two wins over Stavern, the only champion he's beat.
but this is it. But again, look at who's on Stavern's record. When you're fighting someone that's got that will, that really wants to win and really wants the titles, they've got the will to get up. All the other tin cans he fought were just there for the paycheck. So who's to say how hard he really hits? But it's false narratives that we've all, they were putting out there that people were buying into.
Yeah.
Until then, he fought Fury. Then for years, Fury was riding off for that. And then hold on a minute, well then Parker's done it. And then hold on a minute, Zhang's done it. They done the same thing, so it kind of dilutes what Fury did. But then when you look into it, well, is he really that hard hitter?
Yeah.
Because when he's fought credible people, they've been in the ring and they've took them punches. They've felt that. They've felt the aura. But they've looked through that because they've had the will to win and the will to fight. So again, I believe Joshua, when he should have fought Wilder, Joshua would have walked through him. He would no way would he have got through Joshua back then. No way.
Yeah. Okay. Is AJ shot to death?
Hate to say it, I believe yes. I hate to
Hmm.
say it, and what I do what even though I didn't want to admit it, Simon Jordan said this a few years ago when he was like when he said the whole PSD thing in regards to all right, when you get hit, it's gonna send that trauma's gonna come back into you. And you can see that with Joshua. However, look at when Joshua's got that will. Look at what happened in the Dubois fight. He got off the floor. He was trying to, and I just think I think from that he didn't recover from the first round, but he got up, stayed in there. If he didn't, what he should have done is not go to knock Dubois out. He should have hung in there. But I think he was running on empty. That's why he wanted to get that fight over and done with. And he nearly had Dubois, nearly had him. But if he should have went in for another 2 rounds and then get the second win. But I just believe he was running on empty. That's why he tried to finish Dubois, get him out of there. But he got knocked out.
Okay. Is Fury shot?
Um, that's a hard one because when you look at it, same thing. He's like Wilder. His career has been brilliantly managed. Brilliantly managed. He's not fought the fights, but it's a whole illusion. It's been masking, and the public have bought into it because he's got a loud personality, and there's a lot of talking, and people they bought into it, and he knows that they've bought into it. But is he shot? I think yeah. I think he doesn't. He just wants the money, but is he shot? I would say yeah. After the three Wilder fights and the two Usyk fights, yeah, he just wants the payday now. He
Do
ain't
you
gonna
think
find
if
no way.
Fury, sorry, do you think if Dubois beats Usyk or Usyk beats Dubois, do you think Fury's going to want the winner of that or is going to want Joshua trilogy?
Yuri will. I think he'll take the Joshua trilogy, but I don't
Isn't
know
it
because
crazy? Isn't it crazy, Louis? I was talking about a fight, two fighters that have never fought yet and have been talking about it 14, 15 years. When we speak about them going to fight, we automatically in our brains we're saying, do you think Fury's going to have the trilogy with AJ? Because we just know it's coming, don't we? Because these people behind the scenes and TV companies, they can't help themselves. They'll promote it without belts, won't they?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Again, it's all about the money. They know what it can do, even though they're going to spin the narratives. Everyone's going to buy into it. Listen, you just got to look at what the Ben and Eubank look at that whole circus. That circus is going to be the AJ and Fury circus.
How
And
many
I'm
more fights are we going to see on that are made through social media that are like, like a Ben against Eubank Jr., Dave Allen against Fisher. We'll come to that in a minute. Like a Bellew Hay types where the hyped out of control, but really they're just nothing more than gimmick misfit fights. Do you agree with them? Your Hay Bellew, Dave Allen against Fisher. What do you think to that? Elmer Fudd against the Lazy Rhino. I mean, they're getting world title money for being area level. You see where I'm coming from?
This is it. It's the circus and it's the characters that and the narratives that have been spun that's hyped it all up. I think with Fisher, I think again, I think his stock has not risen due to really realistically losing that fight against Allen. Um, this time round, to be honest, I believe he's going to win. I actually believe he's going to win. I think
Mm.
Allen is not taking this. Dave Allen's not taking this seriously enough. I think he just thinks I've got your number. I felt your power. You ain't going to knock me out. I'm just gonna plod along and I'm gonna win. But I actually think Fisher's gonna go in there and do a job on him. I
Okay.
actually
Well,
think he's gonna.
he's not on internet every 2 seconds like the Rhino. He's out training in Fuerteventura with Mark Tibbs, getting his head down. I want to ask you about George Fox. He were down to fight on Big Ron's Sheffield Skating Arena show next month. Since that fight were announced on Dennis's show, George Fox decided to confront Usyk and get his son a bit of a following. And the people on social media are now saying, "Yeah, George Fox is in the mix now. We know who he is. He's commercially viable and blah blah blah." So he's been pulled off the Dennis's show because he obviously thinks he's a big noise now. He's confronted Usyk. But he's had five fights, winning four. Nobody had a winning record, and he had a stoppage. Do you see him being like a gimmick fighter now and being famous for putting it on Usyk?
Well, it's the narrative, and that's what they've done. They knew what they were doing. It was scripted. He got his visibility. Again, within the boxing fraternity, it's gone viral. Everyone's talking about it. All the clips are there. Talk sport of, running the story. So he's got, hype around his name. How long it will last, I don't know. Is he any good? But again,
We're gonna
he's going to
see.
get a paycheck because now he can walk into a misfits and fight someone.
Yeah.
So he's got hype. He's got that hype and around his name.
Well,
This,
Max wants to fight him. Max, the Hercules, Dennis's charge.
yeah, okay.
Max says they need to get the coats off and get at it in the ring or on the hard road. That's what Max was calling for, Big Max. So,
Yeah.
Max, I've told you I'd put it out there for you, what you told me. So, Max against George Fox for all the breadcrumbs instead of all the marbles. Uh, Curtis Woodhouse's charge, Adrian King, he's knocking mofos out and he's back after his injury. Have you seen much of him?
Yeah, heard a lot about him as well. He's meant to be a good one.
Yeah.
I just hope Curtis can hold on to him, to be honest.
I know it's worrying that because I've known Kurt some years actually, and I quite like him. And he's got a lot of pals who are my pals, so we kind of get on. Spent a bit of time with Curtis. That worries me that Curtis is a novice trainer who's doing his best, and he just might get outmaneuvered behind the scenes, kind of thing, because he can't be with his fighter 24 hours a day, can he? So I hope that doesn't happen for Kurt because he's put his time in with this kid, and apparently they're really close mates, so that's good. Do you think if he has a bit of an hiccup or a bad performance, people will be saying, "Go to Adam Boone"? Think that'll be coming out, or go to Ben Davidson, he's the new Dark Lord. What do you think?
Yeah, that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. They're gonna dangle the glitz and glam around him. Come to this camp. Our camp's X, Y, and Z. We got X, Y, and Z there. It's gonna happen. But Curtis just got to yeah. Hopefully, Curtis has tied him up in a good way. And hopefully there's some good old-fashioned loyalty there as well.
Yeah, we hope that. We wish Curtis well. I want to finish off on women's boxing. I just wondered what your take were. What your take were. What's your take on it at the moment? Uh, Lewis, what do you think? Where are we going with women's boxing here?
Again, I think it's unfortunately going back. I'll say 3, 4 years. You had characters in it. You know, it seemed like it was going forward, but when you look at the likes of what's the name, Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall. You had the rivalry between Shannon Courtney and Ebony Bridges.
Hmm.
Brilliant fight, the first one. They never got to do, to do it again. You had obviously Katie Taylor, you had Serrano. There was building blocks. But then out of that pool, who else is there? There's no characters in it anymore.
Yeah.
There's no characters, and it's just, yeah, it's halted. It's halted, and it's just in a decline, and yeah, it's just gonna go. It's going down. Put it like that. It's going down. The fan base
Okay.
couldn't build. You need characters to build, so the public can buy into, and there's no one they can buy into.
Okay.
Shannon was out for God knows how long as well. God knows why, but she was out, and then Ebony, left left Hibbs, went with Dave Caldwell, then left Matchroom, at price, and so it's just yeah, it's you know what, wrong decisions, and it all falls down. All
Okay,
falls-
quick one in, then we'll get this one in. Flex with Sunday sermons and Monday mass with that copper. Boxing King Media. Flex trying to get his fighter Kell Brook in the mix for a Ben or Eubank fight. Do you think Kell will fight again, pushing 40?
I think Hill needs to. I don't think he should personally. I don't think he should, but again, he's got a new family now. It's again, it's about the money. It's about the money. And when you look at it, look at the circus. He's gonna forget Eubank realistically. It's gonna be Connor because the money. He's gonna do the deal with Hearn. That fight is gonna be, they're gonna build it up. It's gonna be on, I believe will be on a Saudi show. So yeah, it's all about the money.
What happens if anything happens to Kell Brook? What would happen? Who's going to take the fall? If he gets hurt at his age, after being out at ring for donkey's years.
Well, it's gonna be on Kel. No one else ain't gonna
They
take the
pass a
fall.
medical, don't they? And they sign a form an hour before the fight to say, I'm fit to fight. Then
Correct.
people get injured, and what happens then? Everybody's covered because the fighter's signed. Do you think that's wrong?
Well, it is. It is. It's just like, I believe also what's wrong is the same thing as drug cheats. The trainer will give X, Y, and Z or will be aware of what's going on or give it to the fighter. When shit hits the fan, the fighter gets hung out. But what about the rest of the team behind him? They're off. Nothing happens. But realistically, if the fighter gets, it's the whole team. The whole team should go down. Everyone on that ship should go down, but it doesn't. So it's the same thing. If something happens to Kell, yes, he signed it, but then what about his advisors, his team behind him? You
Mm.
know?
Okay. All right. Well, listen, fantastic debut, Lewis. Thanks for
Good,
coming
good, good.
on. I hope you're well. What you got planned for the rest of the day?
More work to be honest. Got to finish off some revising and then back to just cracking on getting some deals done. You know,
Okay.
in the
Well, listen,
sports.
keep in
And
touch and we'll have you on again, Lewis, if that's all right.
yeah, 100%, 100%.
Welcome
Brilliant.
aboard the Pokey Express.
There you go. All
All right, kid.
right, have a good day, folks. All
Cheers,
right.
mate. Thank you.
All right, mate. All right,
Thank
bye.
you. Well, that was Lewis's debut. Women love him, men want to be him. Spoke very clearly. Didn't speak over me like you do, James, did he? So, okie dokie. Bit of back and biceps now, I think, before we get Liam on. We've got Liam on tonight, then Jerry, and then we've got Andy, who is not from Aberdeen. All right. But give him a shout out, Andy's Cavern, YouTube. Give him a subscribe as well. We're trying to, he only needs about 300 more or something, and he gets his ad license. So good luck to Andy. Bob's already got his license. Canada's boxing channel. Give him a subscribe as well. He's part of the Poker Commission. Anthony, pick up the phone. Come on. Peace out. But don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe to me as well. Bit of respect for the pork. Pop, pop, bang.